I dream of it, amongst the wild threads of history and the myriad of paths. My path saw the Imperium rise from the ashes left in the wake of the Great Revolt. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of the human mind. With that commandment, new avenues of human potential were explored. Mentats, Suk Doctors, Sword Masters, and the mystical Bene Gesserit Sisterhood. But it was the Navigators and their monopoly on space travel that set the conditions for the Imperium. But I am telling you of the universe you already know. Let me describe the one you do not. In this other universe, my mother, Lady Jessica, consort to Duke Leto Atreides, gave birth to a daughter, a girl they named Ariste. Because of her obedience to the Bene Gesserit, Lady Jessica is trained as a truth-sayer. Because of that training, Lady Jessica was able to detect Dr. Yue's deception. Because of the forewarning of his betrayal, House Atreides survived the Battle of Arrakeen. Because of their survival, the Emperor declared a full-scale war of assassins. Because of the war, the Sardaukar were deployed to ensure spice shipments continued without interruption. Because of the Sardaukar, the Fremen were eradicated. There was no Muad'Dib, no Lisan al-Gaib, no Kwisatz Haderach. I see a universe where I, Paul Atreides, was never born. All my visions lead to horror, except this one. This one leads to you.
Approach, prisoner. Show yourself, child. Have they told you what I am? Then I will sift your words for lies. Let's begin. Where were you born? The machine world. They skirt dangerously close to breaking the prescriptions of the Butlerian Jihad. The Order of the Imperium is rooted in the Farfreluches. A place for every man, and every man in his place. Where is your place? There is always work to be done. And millions like you to do it. You had a mentor in your youth, trained by one of the schools. Who was your mentor? Yes, I have heard of our sisters giving training outside of the chapter house. It is frowned upon. The test is almost complete. Have you spoken truth? Come here. Kneel. Put your hand in the box. I hold at your neck the Gom Jabbar, the high-handed enemy, Don't pull away or you will die. Great plots are afoot in the Imperium, and the currents of intrigue run deeply. Arrakis is the key, and the Fremen are missing. You will go to Arrakis as our agent, prisoner. You have one task. Find the Fremen. Wake the sleeper. Everything depends on this. Do you understand? Good. You speak truth. But here is the rest of it. There is only one rule. Keep your hand in the box and live. Withdraw it and die. An animal would gnaw off its own hand to escape the pain. And we can only be served by humans. Find the Fremen. Wake the sleeper. You will know when it is done.
No, Arista said it was just a dream. I agree, but she is almost Sayadina. then. You're not quite dead. Now you will know a thing that few but the Fremen have seen. For many, the last thing they saw before they were slaughtered. Let us speak of our escape. Twin comets in the sky, a rebirth from fire and death, and a Sardaukar net closing around us. Your survival heralds interesting times, Offworlder. Is this what you wish? To waste time in idle chatter? I am Xantara. My companion is Noctua. Now, shall we discuss our escape? The Fremen name for it translates as the Valley of Echoes, a sacred place to the Fremen, a place of death and prophecy. It is the miracle and inimitability of prophecy. I will speak on this no further. A portable rocket, I surmise, based on the damage. No doubt the work of some desperate and dangerous outlaw. One with a burning hatred for the Emperor and all he represents. But there are so many fitting that description. You found them, Offworlder. They stood watch over you while you slept. When the Sardaukar began their jihad, they hounded us across the desert. I am not Fremen, Offworlder, though I have been fortunate to know them, and to share their water and their customs. Some of my people were caught out by a passing wing of Sardaukar thopters. All they could do was take refuge in the cave, and be ready for the assault to come. The assault never came. The Sardaukar used ancient weapons to collapse the cave entrance. With damaged steel suits and dwindling supplies. We toiled for days to free them, digging until our fingers bled, and all the while we could hear their death chants. Red the night, dusky sky, bloody death didst thou die. An auspicious place for your rebirth, Offworlder. Whatever black fate awaited you in the Harkonnen slave pits waits for you no more. You are free from the bonds of servitude, free to pursue a new destiny, whatever that may be. There's a way through the barricade, if you do as I say. We're gonna need one of their ornithopters. Their protocol is to remain aloft and kill anything that moves from above. That's where you come in. If you can slip back onto the Proteus and locate the command module, you can activate the captain's personal emergency transmitter. He's a noble. They're not allowed to let him die. Leave the rest to me. His Majesty's Imperial Sardaukar care for naught but the Emperor's interests. We are as vermin to them, Offworlder. You must kill them. In other circumstances, their water would be a valuable resource. But with the Sardaukar here, we do not have time to claim them. Only those that get in your way. Think of it as a kindness. They will not survive Arrakis for long. Here, take this Communinet transceiver. It's essential for planetary communication. Now go, and be quick. The Mother Storm is upon us. We only need the leader. I'm a wanted man.
Oi! Utland scum! I vet jo man tukta lasto brev ada hung unvalo arsund. De dia abada.
I know. That's why I brought you here.
Stitch.
The Thopter will have the codes to get us through the barrier. Ever fly an ornithopter? It's simple enough. But my leg is bad and I won't be able to work the pedals. Get ready. They'll be on us as soon as we break through. There's too many! Turn us into the storm! They won't follow. Hang on! We're going down! Get up, Offworlder. I couldn't wait for you. But now you need to run. The sandworm is coming. Run! Now! You made it, Offworlder. Catch your breath. When the Thopter went down, the storm took us far off course. My leg is bad. I need to lay low and treat it before it gets worse. But fear not, Offworlder. Noctua can cover the ground between us with little effort. She will be my eye in the sky so I can continue to offer my sage advice and keep you on this side of the grave. Figure out how to craft yourself some clothing. That Maula outfit won't cut it out here. The War of Assassins has left debris scattered all over this sector. Salvage metal from the wreckage with your cutter and use it to make a Maula pistol and darts. Don't let the Imperial disdain for ranged weapons lead you astray. Very few people are foolhardy enough to use shields this deep in the sands. And that is to your advantage.
Identify yourself! I got you!
This used to be Fremen territory, but the War of Assassins and the Sardaukar pogrom put an end to that. Now the sector is crawling with scavengers, fighting over the scraps of Imperium technology left in the wake of this so-called noble war. But that's to your advantage, Offworlder. Allow them to do the hard work of gathering the salvage, and then take it from them. Don't hesitate to kill them all. They would do the same to you. It's obvious you've had some training, Offworlder, but nothing can truly prepare you for what the desert has in store. Hone your skills, and harden yourself to the violence you must do to survive. Without a still tent, you're easy prey to the sandstorms that sweep across the desert. Those storms tear flesh from bone and shred metal like paper. Unless you'd like to share a cave with some scavengers, your best bet is to build your own shelter. Build a construction tool and place out a sub-fief console. You'll be claiming a portion of the planet's surface for your very own, or rather borrowing it from the Emperor. I'm a little hazy on the specifics. Congratulations, you're now the proud owner of an Imperial sub-fief. More of a sub-fief, but it's enough for now. Get your construction tool out and get cracking. It's not a shelter without walls and a roof. The sub-fief console comes with an automatic shield system that will keep your base safe from the sandstorms. Just keep the generator fueled, or the storms will tear at your walls. And it goes without saying, don't build on open sand. Seal your base, off-worlder. Maintain good water discipline, and it will keep you alive. You've done well licking flowers and sucking sap, but you need a consistent source of water. And the best source out here is blood. Extract it, store it, refine it, and drink it. Raw if you're really desperate. And don't mind throwing up. Actually, don't drink it, unless you really have to. You're probably feeling it by now, Off-worlder. Spice. It's everywhere on Arrakis. The air, the sand, the blood. It prolongs life, expands consciousness, and triggers some very vivid dreams.
Faced the trials of AQL, proving their knowledge of the Fremen race. Find the Fremen, she said. 7 tests, 7 steps. Set your feet. follow the uncertain path. Keep moving. The only true death is stagnation.
Who is it that thinks? Ibn Kirtaiba. The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Do you understand, Wali? Our god gave us the burning eyes of Allat and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Rest in black shade. Be a kite. When we began our wandering, we suffered. Until suffering was a thing we came to know within our souls. Arrakis is suffering. When we found it, we were home. On Harmontep, we were made to suffer. Our children taken and made slaves. They denied us the Hajj. Never to forgive, never to forget. hate of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Did not God give us the burning sun to defy? Suffering leads to defiance. And where is defiance? Defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks? Those who suffer. Remember Harmon Thep. Be la Kaifa. Ibn Qutayba. Defiance leads to thought. Who is it that thinks? Those who suffer. Remember Harmontep. Be la Kaifa.
Still there, Offworlder? Your signal drifted for a moment. No matter. A thought occurs. When the Sardaukar began their purge, many Fremen were slaughtered. The ones that were not abandoned their caves, leaving valuable resources behind. Valuable resources that just might contain the makings of a still suit. Take what you need. Their ghosts will not object. Impressive, Offworlder. Just remember, if you didn't connect the tubes between the caths and the thigh pads just right, you'll be drinking your own liquefied feces. And that does not count as hydration, by the way. I have good news, Offworlder. My leg has recovered enough that I will risk it to move forward. I know a place in your sector where we can meet. Craft a survey device so you can figure out how to get there and join me. Did you get a probe made? Good. Static discharge from the sandstorms makes map data extremely unreliable on Arrakis. But if you can get it high enough, a handheld probe can gather enough local data to give you a snapshot of the region. Climb somewhere high and fire off the probe. Just don't let the Sardaukar spot you. Very good. I'm going to the Griffin's Reach trade post. Come and find me there. Just remember to be careful crossing the sands. Move from rocky ground to rocky ground. Learn how far you can move on sand before the worm comes. And remember, look both ways before you cross the desert. Alas, Offworlder, it seems my fame precedes me even here, at the arse end of the Haga Basin. Your Emperor's lackey, Count Fenring, has put an obscene bounty on my head. And while I'm flattered to be his great boogeyman, the added attention is making life complicated. Take a look around. There's a contract on the board that might interest you, but be careful. Civilized men are not to be trusted.
Hey, stop. I know the face of every sand-sucking bandit, scavenger, and merc from here to Harko, and I don't recognize you. So perhaps you'll give us the courtesy of who you are, and while you're at it, why our airspace is crawling with Sardaukar. Not a talker, eh? Well, the rules at Griffin's Reach are simple. You pay up front and don't cause trouble, or we'll toss you into the storms. Good? Name's Mir. I do the trading and the talking. My silent partner here does the fighting. And there's the contract board in the corner, if you need work. No, he is quite mute. I don't know the how or why of it. The bastard can be quite reticent when he chooses to be. He arrived one night with a patrol of Harkonnen house troopers. I offered them a place to sleep, but when I awoke, they were gone. But for Ihor. Ridiculous. The troop sergeant must have recognized the value of my establishment. As such, he left Ihor behind to protect their interests here. I used to live on Rosek. For a long time, I thought it was the biggest shithole in the universe. So, I bartered my way off the planet. Problem was, I was so desperate to leave Rosek, I thought anywhere would be better. Turns out I was wrong. What's on your mind? The Padishah Emperor, in his infinite wisdom, has blessed us with a cohort of his most efficient and ruthless Imperial Sardaukar. They use Chom mercs for the hunting mostly. I suspect the real Sardaukar are looking for Fremen, and that bastard Zantara. Have you been living under a rock? Zantara is a terrorist scum of the highest order. The Emperor has placed a 1,000,000 Solari bounty on his head. I don't think so. But if he did, the Sardaukar would garrote him. In the meantime, the Kirab suffice as target practice. Scavengers is too good a name for them. Everyone does what they can to scrape by. Scavies do it by mindlessly killing everyone and each other. They are no more. Exterminated by the Sardaukar, and rightfully so. Only the terrorist Zantara persists. But I'm confident, not for much longer. This region was once crawling with their filthy kind, but not anymore. If one walked through the door right now, I would shoot him in the face. Have you been living under a rock? Zantara is a terrorist scum of the highest order. The Emperor has placed a 1,000,000 Solari bounty on his head. What's on your mind? Unless someone shows up with a load of salvage, I've got time to talk. The Griffin is the Harkonnen house symbol, and while we have no official affiliation, I like to think they are aware of Griffin's Reach. What about them? The Duke is a weak fool, and his house will fall. The Baron is 5 moves ahead of the Atreides at every turn. Settlement? Ha! People don't live out here. They cling. Bandits, scavengers, and a couple of fools stupid enough to run trade posts. Sure, Smiley Tig still runs his place northeast of here, across the gap. You'll figure it out if you meet him. There's one of those old desert testing stations out east of here. Been unsealed for a while. Probably picked clean by now. There was a fellow, bought supplies a while back. An ecologist. He was here to audit the station. Said he was camped above it. He'd know more.
Look at the way you stand. No discipline, no confidence. I've killed 1,000 like you on the battlefield. I could write my resume on your filthy hide with knives and artillery, but then there would be little of you left to work with. But don't despair. Salvation is at hand. I can show you how to fight. I can teach you how to kill. And it will only cost you a little pain. I am Gavori, veteran trooper, freelance adventurer, and slayer of cheap vintages everywhere. And I'll train you to be just like me, for the right price, which just happens to be whatever's in your pocket right now. As I said before, I'm currently freelance. Great house feuds don't interest me. I get paid to fight, and not to die. These days I tend to shy away from conflict of an intergalactic nature. But if you need to stab or shoot someone in the near vicinity, I'm your man. Not much to tell. This here's scavenger country. The lowest of the low. Honestly, I think there are some city mola that live better. I don't know. Scavenge? Is that a word? I think they mostly hide from the Kirab. Bandit scum. Thieves who prey on their own kind. I suppose it's easier to rob and kill your fellow scrap digger than put in a hard day's work. Just up country from here. The Vermilius Gap is Kirab territory. You'll know you've gone too far when the sand turns blood red. Then listen closely. During the Battle of Arrakeen, I was drugged and kept out of it by a group of conspirators. For the sake of my honor, I have spent the last 8 years tracking down and destroying them, one by one. Who knows how the Battle of Arrakeen would have turned out if I hadn't been kept away. And now, I have reason to believe the conspirators are nearby. Track them down, kill them. My thirst for vengeance has been slaked by 1,000 flasks of cheap beer, but it is still my price for training. Do this for me, and I'll set your feet on the path of the trooper.
If you seek gainful employment, I have some exciting possibilities for you. There are numerous tasks for which Chom has authorized me to contract and compensate enterprising free agents. Our downed ships contain valuable cargo. The reinforced containers should ensure those goods are intact. Retrieve and return whatever cargo you can. Turret emplacements bombard our ships. Chom will pay a handsome bounty for bringing these weapons offline by any means you deem necessary. Intel suggests a radical group known as the Key Rob are using refurbished Harkonnen weaponry against us. Retaliate in kind, and Chom will repay you. As you will. What would you like to... Well, I will do my utmost to give you answers. Chom hollers are being shot out of the sky at startling rates. We have arrived to rectify the situation. Intel suggests a radicalized group known as the Key Rob are behind this. They seem to be unhappy with the influx of off-worlders. Evidence suggests old Harkonnen turret emplacements have been refurbished and turned against our ships. This has cost Chom millions of Solari. As you will. What would you like to discuss?
Someone's here. Try and back up.
I've crossed the Vermilius Gap, off-worlder, and I still haven't shaken my unwanted followers. I'm afraid I must delay our reunion until... well, I fear drastic measures might be required. But fear not, off-worlder. You've come this far alone. I'm impressed. You're a long way from that mewling mauler I dragged from the wreckage of the Proteus. Listen, you'll need a vehicle to cross the sands to the Paranorth and reach the Gap. But vehicles require components that aren't created here on Arrakis. Arrakis has a long history, off-worlder, more than you might imagine. Some things, like the Imperial testing stations, contain echoes of the past. But more importantly, they contain stockpiles of components you'll need. Just be careful. Those old ruins are a beacon for all kinds of scum. That's it, off-worlder. You're ready. I'm waiting at Mirzabah. That's the great rock formation that looks like a giant hammer. Be careful. Vehicles are fast, but nothing can outrun Shai Hulud. You can only hope to get between safe areas more quickly. I'll see you soon.
Back again, like the sour tang of rancid wine. It's over then. Good. Did they deserve to die? Who knows? But the deed is done regardless. They took me to a bar. Got me drunk on spice beer and plied me with samuta. When the battle started, I could barely walk. Killing them changes nothing of who I am. But sour wine and sour vengeance are both to my tastes. Now shut your mouth and let me train you. I'd swear you're a fully trained trooper pulling one over on me. I can't figure out the angle on such a scam. Who are you? Nah, I don't want to know.
is the purpose of thought. Ibn Birtayma. Speed is a device of Shaitan. Do you understand, Wali? Our God gave us the gift of thought, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Knowledge without action is empty. Bila kaifa. Our wanderings brought us to Rossak. We were persecuted. Our families burned in the fires of their ignorance. We learned the cost of inaction. Never to forgive, never to forget. Some were sent to work in mines. The tunnels were unstable. Our work made them more so. We learned the cost of action. Never to forgive, never to forget. It was on Rossak that the Sayadina created the poison drug. Words became memories. Through thought and action combined, we learned to create. The weight of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Did not God give us Shaitan to force action? And where does action lead? What is the purpose of thought? To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Bila Kaifa.
No, not lost, sir. She's dead.
Oh, tragic. Truly tragic. But they say the desert kills the weak.
My God, man, she was one of yours. Cousin, even.
I am in deep mourning, sir. Rumors of disloyalty buzzed around her like blowflies, but now, who's to say? Certainly not her.
My one pleasure in this hell is knowing that you're trapped here with me.
A momentary setback, I assure you.
Even your Harkonnen masters find you insufferable, Maxim. You're down here forever.
Tell me, dear Anton, what's it like being the handkerchief your superiors use to wipe the gore of Shining Atreides' honor?
Let's settle this.
Gladly.
By the laws of Canley.
By the laws of Canley.
By the laws of Canley.
Someone new. Are you, by chance, looking for banter or legal advice? You may call me Amadi Ikeni. I serve the interests of House Tseda on Arrakis. I, myself, am from the minor house of Ikeni. We are a Tseda House Minor, and a very specialized one at that. House Ikeni acts as the sole legal representatives of the Tsedan royal family. We specialize in imperial law as it pertains to the governing of houses and the conduct of nobility. We defend the Tsedan name. There are many who find House Tseda peculiar. Certainly the least conventional of the great houses. Is there anything else you'd like to know about me? The Anvil is a unique melting pot where enemies gather together. Certain inquiries I'm looking into on behalf of my house keep me here. And what a fine place to offer legal advice, where even the most aggrieved parties not only share the same room, but must remain civil. In particular, there are a pair of Atreides and Harkonnen officers who daily argue with each other over the finer points of Canley law. Many see Tseda as the least conventional of the great houses. Some call us enigmatic. We were the staunchest supporters of the Butlerian Jihad. The unenlightened say we arose from a fanatical theocratic regime, but these are the words of the feckless when they see true commitment. In truth, we rose in power too quickly, occasioning the other houses to form weedy gardens of envy in their minds and hearts. Several houses formed an anti-Tsaden league, disseminating malicious propaganda which haunts our image to this very day. But we march on. House Tseda is the forerunner in legal consultation in the Empire, from Landsrad ordeals to spacing regulations. Our unparalleled mastery of law is sought out for criminal proceedings, Canley disputes, and Butlerian infractions.
Do you aspire to contribute to something bigger than yourself? Care to join the right side of this war? What you just witnessed was the product of 10 centuries of bad blood between House Atreides and House Harkonnen. Truer words. Truer words. You're not wrong. That is the product of several years of bile between I and my loathsome counterpart over there. The laws of Canley prevent either of us from doing what our knives are so eager to do. In accordance with the Great Convention, Canley is enactment of a formal feud. Its rules keep conflicts between the great houses more civilized. I am Anton Tolliver. I serve proudly as a soldier for House Atreides. However, my superiors deem me useful for more subtle operations. I am of House Atreides. There is no call I do not answer. There is no faith that I betray. My roots stretch back to the ancient mythologies of Earth. Aye, ancient stories go down sweeter than the bitter present. Look over at my counterpart, Maxim, that vulgar, avaricious addict. Squatting like a scheming toad, I aspire to be everything that he is not. Any other questions? Very little of my time is free. I devote myself towards ending the war of assassins, at least. Though I sometimes listen to Communinet broadcasts. The Atreides broadcasts. After everything I've seen on Arrakis, the serials ring naive to me, but the poetry still strums something in my soul. Duke Leto is the paragon example of all we stand for. Strength with wisdom, justice with generosity, steel with compassion. Everything Arrakis needs. Ours is a noble house, not only in blood, but in loyalty and honor. We've defended these values all the way back to ancient Greece on Old Terra. Then perhaps you are just the sort we're looking for. The Harkonnens have no honor, no values, no redeeming qualities. Their recruiter over there is a vile runoff of every one of their anti-virtues. These Samuda-addicted freaks will lie to you, exploit you, and throw your used husk aside when they're done. You have my word. My house seeks assets in this wretched war of assassins. I prefer open conflict, but my Duke needs me here. Trust is not an easy thing in a war of assassins. But I have a task that needs doing. Complete it, and we can discuss our future association. One of our undercover agents went missing. I fear Maxim is on to him. Bring me him, or information on what became of him.
That's not important right now. Finding him quickly is.
Find the agent. Details are in this contract.
Well, you look more capable than the average scum. This war of assassins has a way of making people into victims or victors. Which are you, I wonder? Oh, dear Anton over there? The poor sod was meant for the battlefield, not intrigue. He drank his own propaganda, and it's turning to poison in his guts. The business of espionage is often cold, but thanks to the laws of Canley, Anton and I have kept intimate enough closeness as to make it personal. I freely admit I mix my business and pleasure. One should not do these things judiciously. Relish your success, and you shall imbibe more success. Pardon me, living in the heat and lingering Fremen stink erodes civility. I am Levenbrek Maxim Kazmir, intelligence officer of Great House Harkonnen. We Harkonnen believe in power and hierarchy. The strong prevail and free the weak from agency, delivering them to glorious submission. Which are you? Arrogance. I like that. It is the precursor to success. Or spectacular ruin. You should fit in just fine. Regardless, you seem shrewder than my Atreides counterpart over there. Look at that poor lumpling, waiting for a pat on the head from his masters. I'd call him a typical Atreides hypocrite. But dear Anton lacks the depth for hypocrisy. He truly believes the fairy tales his house spoon-feeds him. As I said, I am Levenbrek Maxim Kazmir, an intelligence officer of the Great House Harkonnen. And I'll tell you a secret. I do not belong here. Success breeds envy. My wild success breeds wildly envious peers. Their petty schemes have temporarily lowered me into this grubby purgatory. This is temporary. It's good for me. While they grow lazy above, I hone my craft below, collecting diamonds in the rough among this criminal scum. They say it was my excesses that brought me low. Lies. My hungers make me great. An army marches on its stomach. Great men march on their vices. Well said. Fate is something one must strangle into submission. Have I sated your curiosity in me? That's the trick. I'm never not scheming. But you refer to leisure. I enjoy the occasional Communanet broadcast, particularly the Man-Trap. A glorious combination of survival and spectacle. This year's competition is fierce. My wagers are already placed. I may have some inside knowledge. But enough about me. Let us talk of opportunities and success. Success is by far my favorite drug, sweeter than even Zamuta. Brazen and eager, I can work with that. I'd say it's about building trust, but this is a game of intrigue, so we'll deal in usefulness instead. You see, my job is to sift through the dregs of this dunghole, separating rare talent from so much meat we throw into the grinder. My last promising asset up and vanished while on the trail of an Atreides agent. Are they dead? Are they deep into their cups? It is unimportant. The Atreides agent is the thing. Bring me all the information you can gather, and we may just allow you under the umbrella of our success. Perhaps Anton was sloppy in contacting his agent, and perhaps I spied on him. But if he's on the move, we must hurry. We must hurry. Find information regarding the Atreides agent, and you'll find our favor.
Another innocent traveler, like every other scoundrel here. Got my eye on you, stranger. Don't test me. Friendly banter ain't worth the spit it costs in the gap. Get tough or get dead. Sooner you learn that, the later you'll croak. And I was hoping to retire 10 years ago. Name's Tig. I run this LO. Any other burning questions? It was always nice and quiet around here, back when the Fremen were at Mirzabah. Nobody dared come near, but then the Sardaukar ruined everything. The pogrom, they gutted the Fremen like animals. After that, the bandits all came crawling out of their holes. Now look at this place. It's packed. Huh, can't well leave these cutthroats to starve, can I? They're regulars. Besides, who'd be fool enough to take over this den of thieves from me? Spread slander like that and you best make peace with your tongue. Used to run spies for the Arks. Got tired of them. Got tired of taking orders. Sandflies wanted me, but I can't stomach their muling politics. Then you know they're good for nothing. Most of them, leastways. Huh. Wonder if Trusky's still kicking it, though. She owes me a tooth. Don't ask. Huh. You think an old-timer like me can't tap a keg? I do just fine. That's a mighty pretty way to say criminals. In here, they're meek as mice. I got the only spy spear in the gap, so it behooves them to behave. Sure, some of them get to leave. Don't give a spit about accumulating Solaris. Just want me own place, to be left alone. Yet you desert fleas keep occasioning me to scratch. Course you do. I call it the Anvil, because of the hammer. Only joke I ever made. If it's perishable, I don't stock it. That's all there is to tell. Yet, you got more questions. Guess that's not illegal. The Vermilius Gap? I ain't no mentat, but this desert and I are on intimate terms. Oh, that's because of the iron. Used to be a big industry here for it. You can still see some of the old rigs. Long, long ago, before the spice craze. Used to be the Fremen owned this patch of sand, till the Emperor had them all killed. That's when the blasted Kirabs slinked in. Most of them, sure. They'd rather die young, knife in hand. Older I get, the more sense I see in that. All of them, though? No. They're a tenacious lot. Scavengers turned bandits. Got to figure in slitting throats was the more reliable work. They rove in small nomadic bands. Oh, they're rat bastards, but they're paying customers. We have a deal. They operate in the area, but cause no trouble here. Don't want to talk about it. Best quiet that question, lest you like a sucking chest wound. There's them two staring daggers at each other yonder. Spycraft recruiters for the Atreides and Harkonnen. Passive aggression makes me nethers itch. I appreciate the sycophancy. You take me for a tour guide. See that big rock shaped like a hammer? That's Mirzabah. Great view. Start there. See what you can figure out.
You might have seen my little pyrotechnics display, Offworlder. But whether you did or not, the long and short of it is that I must go. And quickly. The Sardaukar have my scent, and the Emperor's hounds are not known for their mercy. I do not know when we will meet again. Continue to follow your path. Let the desert teach you as you walk in the footsteps of the Fremen. Find allies. It is hard to survive without friends. And remember, Arrakis will sharpen you, Offworlder. Make sure you become the right kind of blade.
Another altar destroyed by the Emperor's zealous dogs. So much wasted in the pursuit of this pogrom. So much lost. This altar seemed to depict Fremen being separated from their families. Enslaved? I could only decipher a few words. Slave cribs, Hajj, and oddly enough, the name of a planet. Bela Tigise.
The Sayadina and I made the long climb to hang a new prayer flag today. What a marvel that even in her advanced years, the Reverend Dejana can still scramble up the rocks like a spider. The only pity is, the prayer flag was of our own making. It seems an age since any Sietch community has gifted us with a woven symbol of devotion. There are so few pilgrims these days. But we here stayed true to our history and our faith, though the off-worlders daily encroach upon us with their mines and their harvesters, though a growing rabble of Kirab grows even bolder around our borders. We will remain faithful until the day we proudly answer the 7 mystic questions and pass into paradise with joy in our hearts.
the Creator, Ibn Qurtayba. Our enemies are as blades of grass mown down. Do you understand, Wali? Thine enemies shall fall. Creator, we fight. Remember Salusa Secundus, Bila Kaifa. Ibn Qirtaiba, the fire of God set alight. How do we honor the Creator? We fight. Remember Salusa Secundus. Bila Kaifa. The Creator, Ibn Qirtaiba. May his passing cleanse the world. Do you understand, Wali? Our God gave us the gift of thought, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Their works have been Shai Halud cleanses Arrakis, creates the air we breathe, the soft sand where we pitch our tents, and smites our enemies. Poritrin, an easy planet. And God brought the weight of kindliness to prepare.
The world is a carcass. Who can turn away the angel of death? Our footsteps are as the drums of the slavers, calling Shai Halud upon our enemies.
Men must learn to live with their gods. Who can deny a Fremen the right to walk or ride where he wills? Only Shai Hulud, the Maker. Ibn Kiltaiba, who is the creator, the maker? May his passing cleanse the world. Remember Poritrin, Bila Kaifa. Ibn Kiltaiba, who is the creator? The Maker, may his passing cleanse the world. Remember Poritrin, Bila Kaifa.
The Sardaukar destruction extends even to these small shrines. I cannot decipher their purpose, but the altar seems to have contained a quantity of spice. And the murals... such beauty to be destroyed by the cut of a lasgun or blade. All I could decipher from here is another step on the journey of the Zensuni wanderers. Thurgrod. Perhaps there's some link between the Zensuni and the Fremen.
Why were we created? Ibn Qirtaiba. The weight of a kindly god is a fearful thing. Do you understand, Wali? Our god gave us the Hula Sikali Wala, the wind that eats flesh. And the words of the Kitab al-Ibar carry shelter always against the coming of Kranizek. Bila Kaifa. We were exiled from Nilotic al-Urobra for our unwillingness to fight. For our willingness to forgive. For our willingness to forget. And the judges said, mine enemies are like green blades eaten down, that did stand in the path of the tempest. Hast thou not seen what our Lord did? The weight of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Why did God create us? We are the action and knowledge of God. and he has prepared the way. Ibn Kirtaiba, the Typhoon struggle comes. Why were we created? To survive Kralizig, the war at the end of the universe. Yahya Shuhada. Remember Nilotic al-Urobra. Bila Kaifa. We are the people of Misr. We have known flight and death. The young go on that our people shall not die. Where did our flight begin? We grew soft, Wali. So God brought us the weight of kindliness to prepare for the typhoon. Name the planet where we lost our way. On our wanderings, we came to a planet devoid of gods, where war was constant and violence was religion. Have you learned its name, Wali? We remember the slave cribs where we were held, weeded out, persecuted. Do you remember too, Wali? The thread of the past was carried by word until we found the poison drug. One of the cursed planets was a blessing for our Sayadina. So many planets across so many centuries. Our people broke apart, split, reformed. Some planets we barely remember at all. A long journey, young Wali. But we are almost home. Just one last place of suffering, where our children were taken and made slaves. The time of Mihna has ended. Young Wali, pass within and seek your Ummah.
The path of the Zensuni Exodus is rare and hidden knowledge. You are no Masquerade cultist. Who are you? What do you seek here? The Fremen are long gone. Their sietch is abandoned. Only their ghosts remain to haunt these halls. That security door is encoded for Fremen biometrics. How did you bypass it? Perhaps we can help each other. I'm a scholar of Fremen social, cultural, and philosophical constructs, both past and present. They fascinate me. And I've studied the layout of this place. It's a death trap. Between the Masquerade trying to blow their way in and the structural damage left by the Sardaukar, the whole thing could come crashing down. And I have yours. The name's Ari. I serve no one. Let's say I'm something of a freebooting academic. And like you, my interests lie in discovering the true extent of the Fremen eradication. Or more to the point, discovering if that eradication even occurred. South, maybe. Arrakis is a big place. And while we like to think we're at the center of all things, in relative terms, the sphere of Imperial influence is rather small. They could be anywhere beyond the deep desert or the Tanzaruft, as it's known to the Ikhwan Bedouin. Not entirely. I'm sure the Sardaukar massacred them by the thousands. This sietch bears evidence of that. But you're right. I don't believe the Imperial account, and I'm hoping the truth, or part of it, awaits us inside. If we survive. It serves the Emperor to depict the Fremen as barbarous and savage, but look at their craft. I see the work of a socially and materially advanced people. A people with the innate practicality and good sense to worship a local and very available god. That's also, conveniently, an apex megapredator. This would have been the central water repository for the entire Sietch community. The Fremen value water above any commodity. Feel the dampness in the air, the smell of wet stone. It reminds me of a special place, far away from here. To the Fremen, water is holy. Water is life. Consider the still suit, a design that's both a testament to Fremen ingenuity and a metaphor for their almost religious determination to never waste a drop. Did you encounter the masquerade on your way here? There's some kind of cult. Worm worshippers based out of an abandoned power station far to the west. It's odd to see them this far east. But if they found this place, they'll be coming. Down here, water discipline would finally be relaxed. Visitors could shed their dusty still suits and find refreshment. Looks like there's no other way forward. I hope you brought your cutter ray.
probably find that a lot of corridors and subchambers are collapsed and impassable. Some would have been brought down by the Sardaukar to deny key areas and resources to any survivors. Others would have been brought down by the Fremen themselves, to crush the invading assault force or channel them to a kill zone. Don't touch the dead. It's standard Sardaukar doctrine to booby-trap the bodies of their fallen enemy. I believe the Sietch power plant would probably be through there, and the air filtration systems beyond that. Many of these doors also led to exterior passages where the water keepers would have maintained external dew collectors and wind traps. An extensive and lossless pipe system would deliver the gathered water to various catch basins and cisterns throughout the Sietch. However, all water would eventually return to the main reservoir. The Fremen were known to keep large nests of scorpions in order to harvest their venom for blades. That's a door I don't want to open. Strange to think these corridors once echoed with the hopes and dreams of a lost multitude. Mothers, fathers, and children beyond count. And now, only silence. A silence this rock hasn't known in 10,000 years.
Our first goal on Arrakis is grassland provinces. We will start with these mutated poverty grasses. When we have moisture locked in grasslands, we'll move on to start upland forests, then a few open bodies of water, small at first, and situated along lines of prevailing winds with wind-trap moisture precipitators spaced in the lines to recapture what the wind steals. We must create a true sirocco, a moist wind, but we will never get away from the necessity for wind traps. This ecological transformation of Arrakis relies upon us controlling 3% of the energy surface. Only 3% to start a self-sustaining system. Learn this lesson well. Our transformation begins in the plantations of the south and proceeds in simple steps to begin. Bind the dunes using grass. Secondly, create deep plantings in the shelter of the downwind face. Finally, introduce burrowing animals to aerate the soil. You will be tested on how well you have learned to recognize the language of the ecological transformation. Remember your lessons, and the door to the future will open.
Very good. Brilliant work. Congratulations. You share the knowledge of a Fremen pre-adolescent. Good work. This must be the way. Now we come to the private living areas of the Sietch proper. In a Sietch community, the leader was known as the Naib, and the various Naibs were often jealous of each other and liked to measure their relative influence by the number of hearths they commanded within their Sietch. Sietch Talab is a smaller Sietch hosting roughly 500 hearths. Sietch Tabor, by comparison, the community Pardo Kynes lived within, was said to host well over 2,000. The Masquerade. I was hoping it would take them longer to arrive in force. We'd better hurry up and be done with our business here. This must be the Cavern of Council. The cultural and political heart of any Sietch community. It's here that Sietch dwellers would gather to hear a traveling crier regale the community with news from beyond. And up there, upon that great terrace extending over the room, is the reason we're here today. course, all Fremen end up at death, so they may return their water to the tribe. That script upon the platform reads, "The water of the tribe shall reveal the path." And I believe the path in question is related to the secret that's brought us both here. And while you are clearly no Fremen, you were able to pass their biometric locks without tampering or delay. Whatever lies beyond here, I believe your blood is the key. Very good.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching. Sector.
Greetings, and Sabakul. If you are watching this, I am likely dead or captured. I came to Sietch in the same condition you find it now. Abandoned and despoiled. I must have triggered some kind of hidden alarm, because the Sardaukar were at my heels before long. They found me. I haven't long. So listen well. I was brought to this planet, like you and many others, with one overriding directive: find the Fremen. But when I finally came face to face with my quarry, I did not find the villains as described by the Communinet or the Emperor. Instead, I found a noble people being drawn into a conspiracy not of their making. A conspiracy extending from the very heart of the Imperium to the dark corridors of... I have to go. They don't know where I am right now, but I can't risk them finding what I leave for you. I wish there was more time. I have much to tell you, but your mere presence in this secret chamber indicates that the ones who sent us will not stop until they achieve their aims. I have hidden the details of my journey on a mimetic film locked within the safe on the wall, as with the security door and the death still. Our blood is the key. And now, I lead the Sardaukar as far from here as I may. Ma salam.
Tricky Fremen. I believe more than half the technology in this room violates the first 11 Butlerian prescriptions. Probably more. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of a human mind. And while the Fremen are ingenious, this technology far exceeds their reach.
Who are you, really? This film is encrypted with a kind of protection I've only encountered in the restricted section at the Nemesine Library on Artesia. I believe that encryption was of Ixian origin. That's not good. We need an Ixian decoder to access whatever is on this, and I have access to the resources of a great house. Don't be concerned. I'll reach out when I have more information. If we Atreides are known for anything, it's our stiff-necked honor. Besides, as a mystery, you rank right up there with this film. Parting with people is a sadness. A place is only a place. The Masquerette. I'm going to try to draw them off. I'll make contact when I have the film decrypted.
Infidels! The lightning worm cannot be deceived! You will pay for your desecration in blood! After them! Do not let them escape!
you there? I've been trying to reach you for a while. I haven't managed to find an Ixian decoder for the Mnemic film anywhere. And that is unusual, given the resources I have access to. It's as if they've been deliberately removed from the face of Arrakis. I'll keep looking, but I wanted to let you know. Keep your eyes open. Maybe one of the towns has a black market trader who kept one in stock. I'll be in contact.